And Jesus said, "Here, Thomas, put your finger here and your hand here." Thomas didn't have to. Remember, he said he'd have to, but he didn't even have to do that. His eyes were not lying to him. "My Lord and my God," Thomas shouted. Tradition has nicknamed Thomas the doubter, the doubting Thomas. And I've always thought that was a little unfair. Why? Because all it took for Thomas to believe was the very same thing that it took for the rest of the disciples to believe, namely seeing Jesus with their eyes. He was just asking to do what the rest of the disciples had already been blessed to do. They had seen Jesus alive and resurrected and risen. Believing for all of these disciples was a matter of seeing. There's nothing wrong with that. Why wouldn't Thomas need to see Jesus in order to believe that he was alive? All the other disciples had been given that advantage. There's nothing to judge here. Jesus speaks these words, "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe." Well, all of the followers of Jesus saw him as the risen Lord before he ascended into heaven. Not just the disciples. All of the faithful followers got to see him risen. In this statement that Jesus just said, he's referring to future believers, people like yourself and like me. We're not the ones who get to see the risen Lord like they did. And the reason we believe today is because of the testimony of those who saw Jesus alive and risen. All of us believe because we've seen enough of those who have seen enough of those who have seen enough of those who saw for themselves the resurrected Christ. There is such a thing as constructive doubt. Now, this is my terminology. Let's not confuse constructive doubt with refusing doubt. Can I climb Mount Everest with this body? Did a CAT scan the other day. Now I've got more than 10 kidney stones. More than 10. Last time I had 10. Now I've got more than 10. Do you think I'm going to go to the top of Mount Everest? There's no way. Can I run the mile run in less than 4 minutes with this body? It isn't going to happen, friends. Is NASA going to take a chance on me and send me to the moon and walk around so that then I can come back and say, yeah, that Neil Armstrong thing, that really did happen. That wasn't just some Hollywood picture they put together. I've been to the moon myself. Is NASA going to take a chance on me? Absolutely not. I have refusing doubt about those kinds of things ever happening to me. I refuse to believe that they're ever going to happen. Constructive doubt is not like that. Constructive doubt says, show me where I'm wrong, give me some proof, some evidence, and then I might believe what you're telling me. Constructive doubt. Thomas had constructive doubt. Unless I see the holes in his hands and in his side and see him alive in person, I can't believe this. And then Jesus showed up. And that constructive doubt turned into faith and belief. Constructive doubt leaves an open mind. It just needs proof in order to believe in something. It might appear that constructive doubt conflicts with what we call faith. Because after all, what is faith? Faith is believing without having seen something. At least on the surface, that's what we would call faith. So it would appear that constructive doubt would conflict with this thing called faith. But my message today is a reminder that if faith, if it ever is going to become faith, requires constructive doubt in order to grow into faith. In other words, before I can believe, I first have to doubt something. Let us never forget, this is absolutely true. Let us never forget who coined the words, if God meant for man to fly, he would have given us wings. Who coined those words? It was a bishop in the Methodist Church, Bishop Wright, Orville and Wilbur Wright's father. And he said that to his sons because they were wasting their time. And he just told them that. But it was a constructive doubt because once his son showed him that man is going to be able to fly, the bishop changed his whole mind upon that subject. Before we can believe in something, we oftentimes have to doubt it first. This is not a sin. The first person who ran the mile under 4 minutes was named Roger Bannister, and he did it on May 6, 1954 at Oxford University. The great runners of the day all believed that they were getting close to the 4-minute mile, but since no one had broken that 4-minute barrier, they doubted if they would ever see in their lifetime someone who did. But catch this. Within a week after Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile, another runner beat his time. And before the end of a year was out, several runners across the world had run under the 4-minute mark. Constructive doubt was there, but it became believable, and people had faith that that record could be beaten once it was beaten, and Roger Bannister led the way. The reason that I am a Christian today is because of the teachings of Jesus. They work.